Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, I came in with the salt. Ooh, yeah, I came in with the salt. Bitch, I play red raw. Yeah, bitch, I play red raw. Yeah, I came in with the salt. Ooh, yeah, I came in with the salt. Bitch, I play red raw. Yeah, bitch, I play red raw. Yeah, walk in the trap real player. Ooh, fucking nigga bitch don't care. Damn, throwing up racks in the air. Damn, told a bit Lil Pon, yeah. Damn, I just broke my wrist. 100 on wrist, can't tell me shit. Pop O's ass and I fuck a nigga bitch. Never went to school cause I was always flipping bricks. Hey, came up with a...
And this is why Trump hates me. Trump used to be a real nigga until he switched up on his day ones. We used to clap the baddest bitches on the island. Shit's changed when I clapped his main bitch in memory of our great friendship. I dropped this collection in hopes he'll remember what we had. You can buy it in my bio. My name is Jeffrey Epstein.
Yo, name's Jeffrey Epstein. I used to run all of this shit. I was hired by the David Rockefeller to the Rockefeller Foundation to figure out some of this fucking bullshit science. Then the Rothschild hired me, turned 25 million a year. Light work for a nigga like me. I used to be niggas with Trump, Lutnick, you name it, the Hollywood actor, they all gone. We used to fuck up the baddest bitches out here at the island. Lolita Express, straight to island. Now these Freemasons, they were into some weird ass Serbian boats, but whatever. You gotta do what you gotta do for the business. Yeah. So today, I'm gonna give you some game, guys. How to run this shit. The Art of War. By Sun Tzu or whatever the fuck his name is. Some Chinese motherfucker tried to tell me about it before I put my dick in his mouth. So let me put you on some game. How you fucking run this shit? First, if people can think straight, they can never see you attack. Then, even if they do, you got so much fucking dirt on them. You got such a fucking powerful position on those peasants. They're never gonna take you power from. They're never gonna take that power from you. You got all the EMD weapons, the electromagnetic pulse weapons. Erica Kirk's family got your ass. Yeah, we blackmailed those guys in my island back in the day. Good times, but they were into some freaky ass shit there. Let me tell you that much. A little massage from a 16-year-old ain't enough for some of these people. Let me tell you that. So here's the game. First, you have to be able to see the problem, identify the problems. And if you cannot do that, it's over for your ass. But after you have identified the problem in your life, then you have to restlessly take action to eradicate the problem from your life. This is what it all comes down to. You see the problem and then you do everything in your action to make the problem be problem no more. If you're feeling me. The elites, like Jeffrey just told you, they're masters at this. They know the problems and they're solving the problems left and right. The lemmings, they don't see the problems. And even if they do see the problems, they are in such a disadvantageous position because they don't got no resources. They got barely any life force to put some action to relentlessly solve those problems. Like, it's over for you. And this is how the elites have put us on this death grip that everybody's under. Everybody knows 2026 society. Fucking bullshit society. Nothing makes sense. Everything feels like shit. Relationships don't work. Everybody's infertile. Everybody's mentally insane. We got these gays and trans tramping around all of these cities, trying to teach our kids. The black folks, the good old black folks, come insane to the high latitude places to just rape our women. All the governments seem to be on it. That's what the COVID told us. They all listen to one centralized ruler. Okay, it's pretty much over. But if you want to change it, you have to identify the problem. First, you gotta identify the problems in yourself, because that's the first step. You need to step out of victim consciousness into you are the source of all of your successes and your problems, even though there's a lot of external factors, like the whole first part of this video told you. But you can never change that being a fucking bitch-ass victim. You need to become a real motherfucking savage. Black-ass savage. Metaphorically. And pretty much, literally, you gotta get that melanin up. So those frontal lobes start to full tank of dopamine gas. Because without that dopamine, you ain't got no life force to go to the next step. Take the relentless action against these problems. But first, identify everything's up to you. It all stems from you. There's nobody. No Jesus. No freaking Allah. No Buddha. No law of attraction. None of that bullshit ain't come to save you. You gotta put the thoughts together in your head, and then you gotta put those baby steps, and even some motherfucking Gilgamesh steps sometimes in this world. And you're gonna have to get a bunch of other people taking those same steps with you if we ever wanna change this shit. That's the reality of the situation. So to identify the problem. What is the problem? Why is everything so fucked up? Well, we got small group of people who have centralized, basically monopolized everything with their banking, usury banking, Federal Reserve funny money system. And now they're creating the technocratic surveillance system on top of that. There might be some infighting there, but who cares a fuck? They're both a big problem for all the rest of us. All the governments are centralized by this small group. They own all the media, all the major media. They own all the major social media corporations. They own most of the corporations anyways, the capitalistic corporations. So they can control what everybody sees in the algorithms, and they can control what they make the hip and cool things in the pop culture. So they can influence masses that way. Now on top of that, they own all the science. My bitch Ghislaine Maxwell's father, she got all of the fucking breasts. She bought Bergamot breasts back in the day. He got all the peer-reviewed scientists that come to my island. They all on my fucking back. We study what we wanna study. And we don't fucking study. We don't wanna study. And actually we study there, but we don't let the fucking peasants know. We don't let the slaves know that we're studying there. We use those studies against those. We make those electromagnetic weapons with that studies. So that's science for you. Education system completely taken over by them. Built by the Prussian educational system that basically just makes a bunch of fucking lemming soldiers and factory workers. Military, police, they're completely controlled by the military industrial complex. So even if you identify the problem and you start to take action against them, good luck. You're gonna be fighting the whole military industrial complex. Because they have turned most of the military, like everybody knows, people that go to military, they are usually pretty high testosterone men with a low IQ most of the time. They got their hair, they got their antenna So they don't got no downloads from the nature themselves. They vaccinate those motherfuckers full on these heavy ass chemicals, heavy ass metals. And like the military bases have the worst non-native EMFs. So they turn these high testosterone, pretty high life force men, ready to do some real action. They turn those men into their soldiers, their little merchants. And because they are in such a manipulative, bad environment, and they don't got the IQ to begin with to see they identify the problem. They use those men to do the heavy action, the fighting for them. Police, same, but on a lesser level. The police are basically policing their policies. And even if some of those people go through the police, the justice system, like the law and order, is there any justice really? Or all is that whole little theater built by the Freemasons, is it working for them against us normal people, or is there actually real justice in there? I mean, they ruin many people's life just carrying some fucking weed, a plant from nature, in their pocket, and they ruin those people's life to put them into the prison industrial complex, which is also run by them, because they have made being a prison a real profitable business for them. They're kind of smart like that. They are very good at identifying the problems and relentlessly, and I mean relentlessly, working to solve those problems so they benefit them, and they actually work a lot against us normal lemmings. So even if you would take some law action against them, it's an uphill battle. They own most of the judges. They all Freemasons basically, or some other secret society members. An easiest way to know is, like as I said, some people carry weed, some plant from nature in their pocket, and they ruin their lives. But have we put any of the people in the Epstein list that went to the islands and shit? Have we put any of them in jail yet? I mean, Ghislaine, my man Beach, Ghislaine. See, she's on some low security freaking operation right now. And I ain't even there yet, motherfucker. I'm in Patagonia, bitch. Perfect, for example, for this is Roberto Becker's career.
Area in which definite effects do appear is that exposure to this type of field seems to produce stress.
Is it true that the Navy repressed that report for better than 2 years?
The Navy did not disseminate the report widely. Human volunteers were exposed to the same sort of magnetic field that the sanguine antenna would emit. There was a very definite indication that following such exposure for a 24-hour period of time, that these people experienced considerable elevations in their serum triglycerides.
To a physician, elevated serum triglycerides are a danger signal. It could indicate stress, heart attack, or possible stroke. The experiment Becker mentioned was done in Pensacola, Florida. And out at their test facility in Clam Lake, Wisconsin, the Navy also examined the people working there. It wasn't a controlled experiment, but the results were similar to those turned up in Pensacola.
A significant number of them also had elevated serum triglycerides as well.
A significant number.
A significant number. We know of, I believe it's 5 specific projects in which positive results were obtained when the projects were terminated and the money just disappeared. There was no more to continue the work.
Now, is this a definite pattern?
It appears to be.
That when a study begins to find that there may be adverse effects, that the money dries up?
Not even adverse effects, any effect.
He was the best scientist of the last century, working for the military industrial complex and DARPA. And he was doing all of this work discovering how bad the non-native EMFs are for human beings. Studying like the cell towers of the 70s and the power lines. Like most of the non-native EMF structure, infrastructure was not there yet. But he was so fucking smart and studying the right shit for the wrong people. That's the whole lesson here. That he figured it out. And he was sending these studies to the military industrial complex and DARPA in the 70s and 60s. And he thought probably that they're gonna release these studies for the other scientists and for the public to see. But guess what? Did they? No, they kept the gem of information for themselves to use against Robert R. Becker himself and use against all of us, and build this information economy that we so happily live under, the high standard of living, highly progress civilization. And then they destroyed his career when he went to the 60 Minutes and tried to warn the public that this is going to be a real bad problem. And then they was like, because they control the media, they was like, shh, they control the science, so they take the funding out. Shut your fucking mouth. You do fucking nothing. Because some people cannot be corrupted by the Epstein. Jeffrey, you cannot get everybody. Some people actually have heart and soul here still left. But you can control those people easily by other means, because you got all the fucking power, you got all the force, you control the attack vectors from every which direction there is. Then obviously they use all of this science and information and education against us to ruin our health, ruin our thinking capacity and capability. Not only do they ruin it in a sense that they don't teach us the right shit, but they also biologically ruin it big time. Because if a human being is in an unnatural environment that he's not evolved to be in, all the diseases are basically just atavism. Your body going back in time to a more primitive state. All the diseases are just your body's mechanism to survive in a shitty ass environment, basically. They have created incredibly unnatural man-made environment with the information economic technological bullshit ass structure. So nobody can actually tap into their biological potential. Their bodies don't work like human bodies are supposed to work. And when you are in that environment long enough time, the brain cannot form coherent thoughts, ideas together anymore. You cannot notice anymore the things that you are supposed to notice to get to the second step, which is the action, relentless action. So I just explained the main reason for the first problem, why nobody can think. Because they have created a masterful spider web to catch any free thinker, any good thought against their system. And even if there's some revolution brewing, they got all the power to stop that revolution, so you can never really get going in the second step anymore. Even if there's a bunch of people with good ideas for us, for the lemmings, to change the world, they can never get going because they have no power. They have no physical power to overthrow the centralized masters. But if most people would start to understand what's the root cause of the problem, which is what I explained, then we would actually start to be cooking with gas. as a group of peasants. And we could have a chance. When most people in the military-industrial complex, in the technocratic order, doing the goats, most people working for those companies, in every level, the bodyguards, the people doing the goading, the people doing the marketing, the people doing the planning, organization, the people fucking judging other people in the law system, the people in the military, the police. If more and more people in all those regular ass, bullshit ass lemming jobs would start to realize what's going on, that they are actually contributing to their own downfall with all the other people's downfalls they spent their down with, the people that don't go to Jeffrey's Island, that's when the real change happens. But it's really hard when there's just like one guy here, one guy there, one guy over there, trying to do the right thing, not compromising, not giving in to the system, doing the right thing because they have pure heart and pure soul and they want to make a change. They see the problem and they taking all the action in the world. But then the other people might feel the problem, but they can't really think about the problem logically and rationally. They cannot really see how their actions affect the problem. They're still in the victim consciousness. Like, I cannot make it happen. Like, if I don't serve my master, my life over. I cannot take control of my own life. How do I supposed to make money then? How do I supposed to make dollar bills then? And feed my family? But nobody's got any fucking family anymore, so you got nobody to feed. Everybody's lonely as fuck, or infertile, or in a toxic, unhealthy relationships. So, if people just put this couple 2 and 2 together, 2 little math with a little brain, boom bam bam, and the centralized controllers on top of the pyramid, they're down some. But we need to get everybody going. We need to get everybody turning into savages. First, we need some real smart motherfucking savages who can see the problem clearly and see all of the attack vectors clearly. You can maybe see, like there's a bunch of people that see one couple of the attack vectors, but they stay too much in them. You need to link most of the attack vectors together to really see what's going on. Because one big thing that many people miss is their health. Because that's what gives them the life force. To actually first start to think about these things and then actually have the life force to put the actions together. Then there's the other side, that some people are really good at just doing the right shit, but they don't really see their action. They don't really follow through or see the long-term consequences of their actions. That's a big one in a modern society. They just don't see where their actions might lead them into. So you gotta marry those two together. Without those, there's no hope. And at this point, who gives a fuck? Like, you have to reach the state when you don't really. That's the savage state. You don't. It's the rule of the jungle. Back in this bitch. Back in this motherfucker. You don't give 2 fucks. If the lemmings don't understand you. You don't give 2 fucks. If the algorithms don't like you. You start to put the right ideas out there. Every single way possible. You start to put the right actions in the real life, because that's what really also matters. But also we need to use the decentralized internet. We need to create alternative social media platforms. And people are doing that. It's hard. because there's so much of incentives dictating the outcomes. That's really the big problem with most of the lemmings. They still got, most of the smart ones at least, they got incentives dictating their outcomes, and they are too pussy to actually make some real changes, like stop paying taxes to the evil motherfuckers, stop putting their money in the banks or in the bullshit ass capitalistic stocks run by few of these corporations that can manipulate those stocks whichever way they want. They need to start owning some real shit. Even owning land is not really owning land, because the government still tax that land, and they can take it over from you by force if they want to. Like, that's the big thing. You really need to get a lot of people involved in high places, in the military industrial complex. People in the kind of the lower rankings or mid-tier rankings who are doing some of the most important work for the elites in the science, in the military, in the justice system. You need to get those people involved. But anyway, that's how it works. You gotta see the problem, you gotta identify the attacks, the problems in your life, and then you just relentlessly have to work to solve those problems. And we got big ass problems in 2026, and we need a bunch of really smart, creative, empathetic, good-hearted, fucking pure soul still attaching their human beings to start working on these problems together. Expose the bullshit. Identify what's real. What's the real shit? What's the truth? You're looking at it right now. That's the truth. And when you, that's why I always talk about health, because it comes back to health. When you experience the real shit, health-wise, you can never go back to the lemming way. No fucking way. Because that makes you feel shit pretty instantly. You spend time with the lemmings, they suck the energy out of you. Even if you're some master like myself, like I can deal with the lemmings pretty good, but you can never have meaningful connection with them in their state of being right now. But you have to fucking either let them die, or you have to raise them up to your level. That's the sole mission. You need to put everything inside of you onto that. Everything. If we don't change the system, it's gonna be really hard to survive in their system being like this, being a full-on savage. They're gonna make it really, really hard in most places on this earth. With Palantir, with the surveillance state, with the digital credit scores, CBDCs. Like, they're gonna make it incredibly hard in the future if we don't do shit right now. Like, we should have start doing shit back 20 years ago, when some people were starting to see this shit, but back then everybody was just like going so full gas onto this progress civilization that we have right now. But back then, people still got some good bread out of it. But even that shit fades away fast when you don't see the long-term consequences of your actions. Your thinking don't reach that far. That's when your bloodlines start to suffer. You might have had a pretty good time, but are your children inheriting the earth? They're still is capable of creating those good times for them? Or is it just gonna be some bullshit ass existence? Being a slave to the system with no freedoms, no magic, real magic in life. This type of magic. When the frontal lobes are running on full fucking dopamine reserves. The hormones in your body are creating all the good ass chemicals. You feel good as a motherfucker. But then nobody else can do it. Like you wanna share the good. Like you can be lone wolf all you want, but it ain't that good. It fucking sucks when you cannot share the magic in life with other people. The experiences, the life is meant to be shared with loved ones. That's what makes humans feel the best. Sharing things with other based human beings. With your family, with your loved ones. And the less you have that, the more apathetic, nihilistic you become. The more nothing makes sense anymore. Nothing has no meaning. And like I said, there's a bunch of people philosophizing all of these things. It's all about just the way you think. It's not. Go check last video or whatever. I have so many videos on that. You have to marry the powerful savage philosophies with actual biological well-being and health. When the body runs with full gas, with full vitality, with full life force, from this thing, from that thing, from all of this. You have to marry that with a good brain, with a good heart, with a good soul. And you gotta put all the actions in the right direction, seeing the long-term consequences, never compromising anymore. No compromises. 5 DJs. Stop idolizing the false prophets. See the real problem. Feel the real problem. And then make yourself feel the reality. Make yourself feel the reality. Simple shit, but so fucking hard in 2026 for most people. Almost impossible. The problems are so big, the answers are so simple to them, but the problems, the scale of the problems, the attack vectors are shooting arrows onto your white or black ass from every direction right now. Even the earth is throwing its arrows on your direction right now with the magnetic declination that obviously the elites are trying to hide from the masses. Obviously. While they are building their bunkers, their underground cities, trying to get the Greenland for the rare earth elements and minerals, because they got all of this knowledge, and they got a bunch of scientists captured, figuring out even better ways to solve their problems. And the answer to their problems usually is a win-win for them, because it makes their lives easier, but at the same time it makes our lives harder. And the funny thing is, they are they're showing their methods to us. Like they're straight up these days telling what they're doing. But they understand that people are so low in thinking capability and life force that it doesn't matter. They straight up tell you what they're gonna do, and they laugh at your face, straight in your face, because you ain't gonna do shit. That's how they view it. And it must be incredibly dominating place, powerful place for them to be. It can also leave them open if more and more people start to do the smart things. But that's how it goes. Start small. Start fixing yourself. Identify the problems in yourself. If you have to make money in a way that doesn't contribute to their system. Find a fucking way to make money that it only or 90% contributes to you and your little community. That's the way to make money. Even if you don't make much, that's the way to go. Stop paying taxes to them. Stop compromising with people, with relationships. Be straight up. If it's not gonna be this, it ain't gonna be. Good luck. And more those type of people we get on our savage team, the more we got a chance. More we can start building some bases around this earth to counter-attack. Anyway, it's a fucking hot ass day. Nice fucking day out here to smoke a Nicaraguan one. To get that dopamine really going. Makes you feel like we can do this shit. We can really do this shit. If we put our minds, we start resonating on the same frequencies, we start putting our minds into the right direction together, we continue to expose the fakes, the shields, the actors out here. We focus on the truth. We focus on the natural. We focus on the authenticity. Real authenticity. We focus on building ourselves. Strong as a motherfucker. Smart as a motherfucker. No fear. Bitch, we don't got no fear anymore. There's nothing to be fearful about. If you fail, you fail. If they get your ass, they get your ass. But if you fear, it's already over. Fear takes your being. Good night. You done, son. But also, don't act reckless. That's the old ass schizo savage way. Just pure action, no thinking. Action plus thinking. This is what the old widow is about. You gotta marry those dudes. And if you ain't do good, if you're good at thinking, then you have to have homies that are good with action. That's what the elites do also, with the military and shit. Or if you're good at action, you need to have homies that are good with thinking. So they can ground you. They can ground you in reality. And you can lift them up with your life force. But ultimately we need both. We need to be that motherfucker that has the highest IQ with the highest testosterone level as a man. And we need a bunch of healthy women carrying babies for these men. We need a bunch of kids growing up back here again. Not in front of the screens. No screens. Kids need to be outside. And when the time is right, we introduce the realities of our world. Because, let's be honest, it's not gonna get better in just a few years. It's not gonna get better in a few years. This is a long-term, fight. So we need to start raising people up, raising the potential lemmings up from their lemming ways. Getting the NPC spells, illusions out of their minds and plugging their minds into their real matrix. The God-given natural matrix. No more ayahuasca. No more ayahuasca ceremonies, bitch. None of that shit anymore. Best you can do, you can have a little cigar maybe. Maybe. If you're black enough. No more mushrooms. No more games. Focus. Laser-like focus. Coherent thoughts against the enemy. Vivid imagination that can get downloads from nature that can help create answers to our huge ass problems. Anyway, the sun's out, the gun's out. See you later, guys. Start doing the right things right fucking now.